What is up, internets? As you may notice, somebody looks a little bit different next to me tonight. This is my brother Dan. Dan, say hello.
Hello.
Royal is still here, not in spirit, physically, in physical form, right over here on the couch in the new lovely
Let's
Studio
get
83.
physical.
My brother.
Sitting next to the third what would it be? The third point of the Sunny Fit trifecta.
You already know.
He's what makes a circle a triangle.
Anthrax.
Tarantino, Papatino, Anthrax, Papatoni.
What's up? How y'all doing?
So he's a rebel and a disease.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Royal and Tino have not seen the movie yet, but they are no stranger to Nicolas Cage, so they're here to chime in on because this movie is just about Nicolas Cage. What movie did we see? The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, the brand new Nicolas Cage film where Nicolas Cage plays the role of a lifetime himself.
Nicolas fucking Cage.
I got to be honest, I did not see that coming.
Oh, wait till you see the movie. You don't see it coming in the movie.
That's what she said.
It opens up with just an unexpected scene, and then
We'll get into that.
Okay.
That sounds like somebody already did.
Before we get into that, before we get into Nicolas Cage's newest film, what's everybody's favorite Nicolas Cage film? Dan, let's start with you.
The Sorcerer's Apprentice, no doubt.
Really?
It's definitely I liked it a lot, but I just wanted to throw it
as a
off the wall
curveball.
movie. Exactly.
As a
yes.
curveball.
But I did like it, and whatever weird way I can't seem to come up with explaining.
I can't even. I don't.
It's
even
been a
have
while
anything to
since
say.
I've watched it, so
I haven't ever watched it all the
throw
way
out
through.
all the details, but of course the long hair that I always like.
You have Royal in complete stunned shock over here. Royal, what's your favorite one?
Double M.
Double M.
And that's one I haven't seen.
What is that?
He knows he's
blanking.
my brother. Say it.
What is it?
I just said that's one I
Double M.
Double M.
Magic Man.
Oh, fuck yeah! Him and Sam Rockwell. That role was made.
You know what's
him.
great? You know what's serendipitous about that movie? That was the first he made me watch it. You gave that to me on DVD like 10 years ago. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And I watched it. And I was like, the only reason why he watched it because he smoked so many cigarettes. But then it's one of my favorites. Yeah,
To give Nicolas Cage like a neurotic character with all those crazy tics and pair him with Sam
Here's the crazy
Rockwell.
part about that, though. That's the second time he's played a better dad than a lot of people ever had.
And actually the dad thing comes into play quite heavily in the Massive Talent film. Papa Tony, what's your favorite Nicolas Cage film?
I'm gonna take it back in the day and say Raising Arizona.
Yes.
Oh,
that brings it.
Hold on. Let me ask this: why though?
I mean, why not?
No, I know, but I want to hear the
Wait a
reason why.
minute, because don't ask me why. The reason why I say why, because that's my first movie I ever seen, Nicolas Cage. And then it was a great movie overall, the plot, everything, the baby, the woman who played. There's not many movies like that afterwards.
That's my favorite too. And because it's a Coen Brothers film too, on top of being a Nicolas Cage film, and there is nothing like that moment. The diaper heist is probably the best sequence in cinema history. They were having the cops go Grand Theft Auto style. Everybody was gun happy. That's what was so funny. About
Never
that scene.
recreated. Somebody like that goes back to like when we used to watch him in his early days with filming, right?
They threw reality out the window in that scene because the store owner comes out blowing the shotgun shells through his own store. That's not rational. The store owner wouldn't do that. But the writers and the directors, they were like, you know what? I don't care if he would really do that. It's funny as fuck to have
Way
him.
back
You want to know a
in the
fun
day.
fact?
And the cops are just shooting through the grocery store past the cut. Like,
He got the baby in the backseat, they roll.
You want to know a fun fact? You can ask 50
The
people.
baby, no, go
Check me
ahead.
on this.
I'm
Here's a
sorry.
fun fact. You can ask 50 people what is their favorite Nicolas Cage film, and you can get 50 different answers.
and that's a perfect segue into something I wanted to say about him in this film is every single he's done comedy, Raising Arizona. He's done dramedy, adaptation. He's done like suspense thriller, 8mm, blockbuster action with like
Sorcerer's
Con Air,
Apprentice.
Face Off, family
Sci-fi.
fantasy.
Sci-fi.
The
Good to
indie character driven movies like that, like Mandy.
So Raising Arizona to you is a comedy?
I would say it's yeah, definitely for sure. What is it to you?
Uh,
Because I laughed my ass off through most of the thing.
I think it was funny, but I don't think it was intended to
Oh,
be
yeah,
just
That's
a comedy.
understandable that you saw it a completely different way that he
If
did.
Yeah,
you watch
yeah,
the
it's-
Coen brothers, like Coen brothers did No Country for Old Men. And
Okay.
their style of writing is like unintentional humor that seems unintentional through like repetitive dialogue and
That
stuff.
Here's a
makes
question
sense.
from everybody. Not what's your favorite Nicolas Cage film? Out of all the characters that Nicolas Cage has portrayed, which one most closely fits his actual persona?
After watching Massive Talent, if it's any indication, even taking into consideration that it's an exaggeration of who he is in real life, but it's based on him. Watching him in this and seeing him in interviews, I would say Adaptation, which is my second favorite Nicolas Cage film. When he plays, which actually an Adaptation was a lot like Massive Talent, because Adaptation, he plays the writer of Adaptation, and the movie is about the writer of Adaptation trying to write Adaptation, and Massive Talent is him playing an actor trying to get the role of his life. He doesn't get the role of his life, so he ends up creating the movie that ends up being Massive Talent.
Now that's your answer, but what about your brother, your blood brother, Dan? What would you say Nicolas Cage's closest persona out of movies is portrayed?
I don't know if I have.
Come on, dig deep. You got it. Breathe.
Dead air.
No, he can do it. He can do it. I believe in him.
I don't know if I can.
This motherfucker went 60 minutes on this motherfucker over here.
Yeah, go on to the next one for me.
right, but
We're dead now. The
but
bombs.
gonna
Going
probably
back
say-
to the genre, the that was one of the cool
Hold
things.
on. Stop. I ain't get my answer on that one.
Oh, okay. So
I would like to say Face Off.
you think
That represents
Talking about Castor Troy?
But you said him as an act, like who he is as,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
an
out of
actual
right.
Out of the
person.
roles
And
he's portrayed, which
who
one?
is
I
that?
agree with you. That was the closest
When-
one. That was
when
my
he
answer.
was-
me,
when-
it's Face Off.
when he
Yeah,
was
that
in the
was my answer,
body
that
of
was my
Tro-
answer.
when he
Who
was
he
in
is.
the body of Archer or Troy?
Castor Troy.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
What do
Yeah.
you think?
I
You
agree
think
with
he's a
Tarantino.
monster
To me,
in real life?
because who else would go up? I told you, I've seen that film 10 times. Before we did the last watch, I always thought he knew that girl who ass he grabbed, who was a choir girl. I'm more disturbed by her than him, because you let your ass get grabbed. Just like that little boy in Batman let his mouth get fingers put inside of him. You nasty man boy.
That doesn't answer the question about who that has.
It doesn't.
That doesn't do anything
What do
for
you
the
mean?
argument of how that's
What
like
he's
Nicolas
saying
Cage.
is like
Because-
as
oh,
the
you mean-
person. Hold on. What
I
he's
just think
saying
that's
is
a very hard question to answer in general because we
He's an
we
actor
actually
who's in
don't
debt. I
know.
can relate with that. I'm an actor in debt. I
Well,
know what that feels
I'll
like.
say that after like watching him in interviews, I think this was a very close interpretation of who he is in real life. Like watching him in the Massive Talent movie, there was obviously parts exaggerated, but he was very close.
Why
to
does
who
he get
is in
compared
interviews.
to-
that was the
uh,
answer
Cusack.
I wanted to give, but not a good answer because
You heard me.
What?
Why does he get compared to, was it, I'm saying his name wrong, Cusack, JC?
I've never heard.
John Cusack.
I've never made that. I heard.
Wait
that.
a
You haven't,
minute.
no, but
He
if,
have-
no, you
the
haven't. but people
wait a
have.
minute. There's no way.
People
who's
online have
compared?
said that. No, people online, not, no.
Compared to who?
They're talking about the looks and the acting style.
There's
John
no way
Cusack.
fucking possible. To who?
To Nicolas
Nicolas-
Cage, yes. That's been on
Line up the resume. That's like I worked
no,
at
it's not even
Walmart
close.
and Burger King compared to I worked at all the Sears and all.
It's not even close. I agree with you.
It's no, that's not.
So
no,
John
sorry.
Cusack, but now John Cusack can act though.
I didn't say
He's
that.
no Tarantino Jones. He's no
I didn't
That
say
Tarantino.
he
was
can't,
Double
because he
Jeopardy?
played in a
Is
movie.
that John Cusack?
Well, we're not talking about.
Con Air.
Yes, but wasn't he in?
Dave.
Yeah, John.
Was that Double Jeopardy?
Yeah, John
And that
Cusack was
hotel
in
movie
Con
or
Air.
some other weird movie too.
What's
All right,
the
we're
one-
getting off topic. This is I want Massive Talent. This is I want to talk about Massive Talent. They're
Okay.
way off the rails.
All right, so okay, you're talking about Massive Talent. Take me through it. You pick up your brother, y'all get in the car, go.
Well, that's taking a little too far back for a 20-minute review. I was just gonna go straight.
No, just give us something. Give us
something.
something. Okay,
So-
y'all get to the movies, go.
Without spoiling anything, Massive Talent is about Nicolas Cage, the actor. He's playing himself, and it's to be determined as far as like how how much of it is actual truth and how much of it is how much of it is exaggerated for fiction. He is they do a really good job painting the picture of that he is in desperate need of money. They kind of play on the tropes that he is frivolous with his money. He buys crazy things. He's in a lot of debt. Why he takes the jobs that he takes. His agent gets him a job that is not an acting job. It's just to hang out with a fan for their birthday weekend or whatever. He goes out, they become friends, but this guy that he was hired to hang out with, the CIA is looking at him because they think that he was involved with a kidnapping. So they get Nicolas Cage to help with, because Nicolas Cage is now close to him.
Hold on, Dan's shaking his head.
I just don't. It is amazing that I saw the movie just like he did and watched it with detail and could not spit out what he just spat out.
Is he right, or are you saying it's something different?
No. He is.
Well, let me finish the pitch here.
Well, I know, but he was shaking his head.
You wanted something for the car ride on the way.
Thank you. Yes.
He literally talked about. We didn't see any trailers or anything. He told me like about Nicolas Cage, the debt, all the movies that he does, 20 this year, whatever. If he gets 200 jobs, he's turned down
3,000.
Right. And that is literally what this movie was about.
It does a really good job of taking that truth that people know about and using that to set up this story of why it would be believable that he would take this $1 million job to go hang out with some fan that he actually ends up liking. But then the CIA is after this guy because he's involved with some kidnapping. Let me finish and then hold your questions till the end. So then the CIA.
You started this without giving anything away, though.
Yeah, I'm not trying to give anything away.
Oh, I thought you were describing the whole movie.
No. I'm just.
You look just like Kevin Hart right now.
So the CIA. I'm telling this to you. You're my audience right now because you haven't seen it. So I'm actually telling you.
Where is he?
And he's gonna be asleep by the end of this, and I'm counting on it. I want to catch that on camera.
No,
you will.
What I'm gonna
His
do.
leg's gonna be up though.
I only got 30 seconds.
I believe that. Go ahead.
So
what the fuck was that?
So this
Hold on, what the fuck was that?
What? An ash. It was just an ash.
Excuse you do know that that's 20.
That's like a motherfucker farting in your present.
Now I'm gonna have to fucking edit this.
Well, I was on my knees putting that down there. Do you see it moving?
No, I don't. I'm sorry. Okay, is that what you want to hear? It was an accident.
He'll replace it.
Thank you. Go for it.
Anywho, the CIA decides to take advantage of the fact that Nicolas Cage has an in with this guy that they suspect kidnapping this girl to sway an election. So they get Nicolas Cage. They pretty much deputize him and give him some missions to scope out where this girl is at, what this guy is doing. Nicolas Cage ends up really liking the guy. So there's a conflict there. It becomes almost like a buddy comedy.
Rom-com.
Almost like The Interview where they do the Kim Jong-un.
Un.
He ends up liking Kim Jong.
And that's where I won't say where it goes from there, but there's some issues, like it goes into his family life, and there's a little bit of a story arc there.
Whose family life?
Nicolas Cage, because he's not there for his daughter. He's too wrapped up in his work. So there's that whole story arc that goes through where his daughter ends up getting mixed up into the whole debacle.
Is this a bathroom-free movie?
Oh, I had to pee, and I did not.
That's what I meant. Thank you.
Yeah.
Dan?
Yeah.
You stayed?
Good.
Because the good thing about it is the fact that when we talk about all the genres that Nicolas Cage has been in, this movie did a really good job of naturally taking you through every single one of those genres in some kind of way. It like starts out as the character drama comedy. It transitions. There's a little bit of the romance angle. It ends in like the blockbuster action spectacle.
Here's where I'm concerned. If I'm watching this and I know you and I know him, I'm concerned that who's an honorable mention? You mentioned Nicolas Cage 10 times. Who else gets an honorable mention as far as their performance?
Easily. and I'm gonna look him up real quick because he's not a known actor as far as I'm concerned.
Actually, I might have seen him in something that once you pull him up, you'll remember.
So we know the face, just not the
guy
name.
that hires
But
Nicolas
that's
Cage.
typical for me.
The guy that hires Nicolas Cage made the movie enjoyable just as much as Nicolas Cage did, easily.
Very, very.
You're talking
very
about
much
the
so.
fan, the guy that plays the fan. Okay.
Pedro Pascal and
And he's right. It hit every topic of action, comedy.
Did it entertain
romance.
cancel culture, or did it say fuck it?
It didn't really even have it didn't go anywhere near anything that would even tempt it to go one way or another on that. That was one of the things that made it so enjoyable. It was like just a feel-good popcorn movie.
Yeah.
And it was so cool how it was meta in the right ways. Like it was self-aware of itself just enough to make you laugh at it. And one really cool part was the movie opens up with with the girl that gets kidnapped. The movie opens up with the scene from Con Air. The movie begins with the ending of Con Air, and the girl is kidnapped to that "How do I live without" the
So you
song.
gotta
Which
give the
was
film an
another
8
funny
regardless
thing,
just 'cause of that.
But the beautiful thing about it is, so of course, no spoilers, but Nicolas Cage is involved with the rescue of the kidnapped girl. So you go through a good chunk of the movie. This girl that is a huge fan of Nicolas Cage, they set that up in the beginning before she gets kidnapped. She's watching the movie. There's this awesome moment where Nicolas Cage rescues her, and she realized, is that Nicolas Cage? Could you imagine that when you're a huge fan of somebody? Like, I couldn't imagine Lupita Nyong'o, like me being in a nefarious situation and Lupita Nyong'o just showing up out of the blue to rescue me. I'd be like, holy shit.
Well, first off, if you're getting rescued from a Mexican or whatever drug, you expect it to be the CIA, not
Hold on, I got a question.
not Nicolas Cage.
Let me ask you a question. When he said Lupita Nyong'o, did you think that was a Mexican drug lord, or do you know he saw?
That's who that's
I know who it is. I'm asking him. Does he know who it
that's
is?
who she was rescuing in the movie.
Oh,
That's
I got
who
you.
she was getting rescued from.
Listen,
in the movie.
I'm just gonna be honest. You're going SOT Royal right now. Can we hear from Dan? I mean, I'm hearing a lot. I want to hear from Dan. Let's talk
I
to
don't
him.
know how to. He's saying we can't give anything away, and that's all I'm going to do.
Well,
is just talk about the movie.
What was your favorite? All right, so what was your favorite part? One of your favorite parts. It was a series of awesome parts.
First off, where'd you get those glasses
The
from?
opening, probably Dollar General, probably.
Not important for a 20-minute video.
I just needed it.
One of the best parts, which is another thing that we talked about 2 days earlier, was there needs to be callbacks in this movie.
But callbacks to what? That's what I'm asking. Callbacks to what? Though?
It opens up
this is a
with
movie that is aware of the fact that Nicolas Cage is an actor that has been in all of the movies.
Were there
that we
any
love.
Ghost Rider callbacks?
What do you mean?
No,
the movie Ghost Rider, where he played on the no Ghost Rider.
No, but they did a lot of callbacks.
Any face-off callbacks?
Oh fuck yeah!
Talk to me.
The Golden Guns come into play.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Both of them. And
Hard.
they did this beautiful shot where, because the guy's he's a super fan.
Yeah.
So he brings Nicolas Cage into this little museum that he has, like a shrine of all of Nicolas Cage's shit. And because Nicolas Cage, one of the things that he has is an actual statue.
Which is laid out nicely, because that little detail
Oh,
doesn't come but 3/4 through the movie. So it unveils more and more things.
But he has a life-size statue of Nicolas Cage, a mold of him holding the Golden Guns, the real ones. So when shit hits the fan, you know where Nicolas Cage goes to arm himself. And he of course, has the other moment where he gets to pull out the Golden Guns again. But the funny thing about that scene, which is a perfect example of how this movie gets meta right and is self-aware, Nicolas Cage, we know that he is frivolous with his money. He buys extravagant things, the Tyrannosaurus Rex head, whatever. So he's looking at the statue of himself and he's like, it's grotesque. And he is on acid during this scene too, to top it off. So can you imagine walking into a shrine of yourself on acid, tripping?
Yes.
And tells the CIA BRB.
He literally tells the CIA I'm on LSD.
Yes, I can.
So he asked the guy, he's like, how much did you pay for this atrocity? And the guy's like, hold on. The guy's like, $6,000. He's like,
I'll
give you $20,000 for it. He's like, no, this is not for sale. But that's the beautiful thing about it is like it's understanding the fact that Nicolas Cage is this person and playing on that. And it wasn't just a series of these moments for the sake of like making a parody of his life. All of these things played really, really well into steering the story into a believable direction to where it goes from this small scale character study in the beginning and naturally transitions into this big blockbuster action film. Hold on. While him and Pedro Pascal's the actor, while him and his superfan are together, they're actually writing the movie that ends up taking place in the movie because Pedro is an aspiring writer. He wants Nicolas Cage to be in his film. Nicolas Cage needs to stay with Pedro for as long as possible to help the CIA. So he convinces Pedro, he's like, yeah, I want to help you make a movie. Let me stay here and help you make a movie. So they're working on a movie. They're like, we can't just have like a kidnapping in the movie because that throws off the pacing of it. It's not true to the tone. We can't have just like explosions, and it's got to be a real like drama for adults and a character study. And turns out all the things that they're talking about that they shouldn't do in the movie ends up happening in this movie, but naturally. And it
Are you confused as shit?
No, I'm not, because I'm going to say one
I
word.
saw the movie and your words. That's so much.
I want to hear from both of you.
It was beautifully depicted.
I'm going to say 3 words. I want to hear from both of you, but whoever starts first, but after I say this, gets to go first. But I want to hear from, no, you may get this. Hear me out. I'm saying 3 words, and whoever starts first, go. Neil Patrick Harris.
Open slow. He could have had more of a role, but
explain
the one. Yeah, that whole scene was really good. So he definitely could have. They could have played more into that. But there was a scene in their. I don't know how that whole thing gets set up, but they're in a salon,
like a pamper yourself place where.
Oh yeah,
it's in
the beginning.
A happy ending type of situation.
Yeah.
No. This is high class.
Yeah.
Los Angeles.
They're beating them.
A Happy Meal
They're
type
beating them in the backs with branches.
I just said a happy ending situation. You said no, but you're jacking off some
they're
giant
beating
here.
them in the back. You know how
He's
the West Coast, they're like a trend happens, so everybody jumps on it, and nobody wants to admit that it just fucking sucks.
And Neil Patrick says they need to go relax.
Everything you're saying sounds like a happy ending. West Coast,
the funny part about that scene is so they're both sitting there getting their backs cracked with these branches, and they're both laying there.
They
like,
almost look like palms, like
yeah.
they're like palms that not the ones up in the tree, but on the ground.
And Neil Patrick, he's like, is it supposed to hurt like
every
this?
Time they
Neil
lash
Patrick,
it.
yeah, every hit, fuck. Neil Patrick Harris like. Fuck, I love it.
Who was the best actor in this film or actress?
Nicolas Cage.
Actress or actor?
Hold on, are you saying what he said? Is it Nicolas Cage, or who would you say?
No, it's definitely Nicolas Cage.
Okay, but who's the honorable mention? Who's the honorable mention?
The honorable mention is Pedro Pascal.
They were both
okay.
Really,
remove them too. If
good.
I didn't see this movie and I didn't know them too, and I went and I said, you know what, they kind of did it for me too. Who would be that person?
The wife.
Who plays the wife?
If you didn't know Nick Cage, I could see Pedro because he was also very funny. He had his own.
Here's why I'm tripping, and you guys, I don't want to get you guys canceled. I know you guys aren't racist, but I've not heard Tiffany Haddish's name one time.
She was good, but she was barely in it.
Yep.
He knew you were gonna.
What was that?
Yeah, he was sleeping.
And when did this show start becoming like politically correct to the point where we ignore our taste to cater to the what are we doing here? What's happening?
Well, when that guy emailed us,
it's funny how he woke up on racist, like Nick Cage woke up on the action.
Great part, yeah. So here's a scene. Here's Tiffany Haddish for you. This is her moment, and she doesn't have many in the movie because she only has like 6 minutes of screen time.
Once again, he knew you were going to ask about and say.
But one of those minutes are amazing because
is she naked, David?
No,
Monster Ball.
fucking Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage is on a mission for him. He has some kind of serum that I was kind of I wasn't really paying attention to the setup, but he has this serum that pretty much ends up making him. He accidentally gets it on himself, and it makes him paralyzed pretty much. He ends up getting
Which is another thing from the interview. That's how they're supposed to do.
Well, he's trying to get to the antidote so he can unparalyze himself. He gets to the antidote, grabs a shot, and almost gets it in his leg, but passes out completely. Hold on, let me get to the fucking punchline. Fuck.
Yeah.
Then
Jesus Christ.
Tiffany Haddish. To bring it back to why I started this fucking story that you almost didn't let me goddamn finish. Tiffany Haddish says because Nicolas Cage is passed out, dead to the world. Tiffany Haddish is in his ear to get him back to life, to revive him. What didn't work was, do you want to go back to your daughter? Do you want to die? None of that. He's dead. What she says is, action. Boom. He jumps up and is ready to fucking go. She screams action in his ear. And a true actor, a true thespian, he leaps into action and is ready to go. So that Tiffany Haddish had a great moment, but she just wasn't in enough. This movie was all about Nicolas Cage and Pedro
Was
Pascal.
this better than the French Dispatch?
Incomparable.
What language was that?
Incomparable.
Incomparable. Okay.
Because I went into these things with two very different. I went to Sunray Cinema to see French Dispatch. I was expecting a quiet film. I didn't need the big Dolby Digital.
Okay.
This was a summer blockbuster, and I actually got a little bit more than I expected out of it than what the trailer.
This or Matchstick Man.
This.
You caught up in the moment. It hasn't even been 24 hours.
I know I'm high on it still. So what the fuck else do you expect me to say? It's
I don't
a
know.
very good
this
movie.
is a Con Air. And watch yourself.
Con Air.
Okay.
But
I would honestly say,
but this one gives you everything that you want right out the gates. Like I knew that I was going to be satisfied when the first shot of Nicolas Cage, 3 seconds on the screen, for no reason, he just goes, "Woo!"
That's a Nicolas
And
Cage
I'm like,
movie.
"Oh, okay, he's leaning into
Did
this.
he do it
This
like
is
when he
gonna
was
be
in
fun."
jail in Face Off?
and there was a
Exactly
couple
like
of
that,
those
yeah.
moments that
Pause. I need to do a quick reset. This is the last reset. We're gonna get this wrapped up.
We're going to the end. I'll lead you towards the end. I got you. I'll lead you towards the end here. 3. No, I got you. All right, so let me ask you this. All right, Dan, and Dave, you pick it up after this. 3, 2, 1. Dan, if you could change one thing about this film, what would it be?
probably more Tiffany Haddish.
You're definitely David's brother.
Fuck.
Dave?
I would have replaced Tiffany Haddish with a nice porcelain skin looking. You want to take me there? We're here now. Anyway, I wouldn't change anything about the movie. I guess here's the review. Like I said, you watch a trailer, you have
Maybe
a certain
more Neil Patrick Harris.
more Neil Patrick.
If you're gonna have Neil Patrick Harris in it, yeah, just have.
But it's rare that you see a trailer and you get more than what you expected.
Any connections between the film and TTFT at all? And all the people we've interviewed, any connections?
Nothing that comes to mind, but it is cool
Marty. Marty or Nicolas Cage is he's not in there. Marco, he's not in there.
No, but Freddie Farnsworth did the stunts on it. Who worked with them on Face Off.
Hold on one second.
Yeah, you hear
Okay. All right, so wrap us up, guys. Let me ask you. So if I never knew anything about this film, Dan, why would I go see this film?
Nicolas Cage.
For our millennials out there.
No, it's not. It's not.
And that's
for them.
I like that. Though. I like it. It's not for them. Elaborate on that. It's not for them.
It's for Nicolas Cage fans. Any Nicolas Cage fan. It doesn't matter if you're a fan. Like I said,
if you catch it on Netflix, random. Like I will go through Netflix sometimes. I'm just like, you know what? Whatever. I'm just gonna put something on. I'm probably gonna fall asleep, and then I end up liking the fucking movie. this would be one of those
But
movies.
this is a present to Nicolas Cage fans.
100%.
It's made
It
for
is.
them, with them in mind, for them to enjoy it. I mean, they give you enough that anybody, like you said, it ends on like a summer blockbuster, like a big action. You got the explosions. There's a heist. There's a
You
good
get everything
character
from
story.
Okay, last segment. Dan, 1 out of 5, 0 out of 5 fucks. How many fucks you give this film? No, don't look at him. Look at me.
No, our fucks good or bad.
Fucks are good. 5 fucks are the best. And again, it doesn't mean it's the best film ever. Just according to you, 0 through 5 fucks. What would you rate this film? And remember, you're a thespian.
When you asked him if this or Con Air was better, and I was gonna argue this, but then stopped and thought, no, probably Con Air is better. So I cannot give it a 5. I will give it a 4. Fucks.
Durden.
Well,
But if you're a Nicolas Cage enthusiast like we are, 5 fucks. It was a awesome
that's a good
fucking movie.
caveat.
Yeah, I like it.
It
I like
is.
Yeah, I
it
like
is
that.
everything you get everything like you said, you get everything from it. And because you're going enthused about Nicolas Cage, you get all the Nicolas Cage in many forms and fashions, and
I'm gonna make this quick.
all
Can I ask
aspects
this?
of him.
I'm gonna make it quick. Can this really confirm for all those, like you said, those Nicolas Cage fans out there, like, oh, he's just really being himself in films. When you watch him play himself and he's no different than any of his characters, does it confirm what you've always felt?
That he's a fantastic actor.
Yeah, we know that. I'm just yes, but also that he's not acting. He's just.
Oh no, he's acting. That's one thing that this movie, at least this movie conveyed, is that he approaches the craft with sincerity and seriousness.
Okay.
And
like
it really makes it. It's for people that already love Nicolas Cage, but it makes you love him even more as an actor, as a person. And I'm so jealous I'm so jealous of Pedro Pascal. Like I wanna hang out with Nicolas Cage like that for a weekend. The moments, it is such a great buddy film too. On top of the romance between him and his wife, the daddy-daughter stuff between the action adventure at the end. And I like what I would say, if you're not a Nicolas Cage fan, you'll enjoy this film. It's like a 3.5 out of 5. But if you're a Nicolas Cage fan, it's like 5 and beyond out of 5. Like it'd be really hard for me to put this up against Con Air or even Raising Arizona, because it feels like you're getting all.
You're not even saying Matchstick Men anymore. You made me watch
Matchstick Men. It feels like you're getting a culmination of everything he's done in one package.
Okay, sorry. You ever heard of something called Snake Eyes?
He has like
great
an
movie,
alter
and you
ego
get a
the
little
whole
bit of that
time,
in it
or
too.
what is that called? Not an alter ego.
Oh
but
yeah,
like
thank you. Fuck yeah, yes.
That's
What?
throughout the whole movie. So you get like current Nicolas Cage, and then
There's different ages.
They did some aging on him, and he has like his own basilicus, if you will. His dark passenger, and his dark passenger is his ego, kind of like me and Mrs. Jones. Shout out to Chad. His dark passenger, his bad imaginary friend that pops in is like the 90s, the late 80s version of himself. They're like, I'm Nick fucking Cage, and that's where you get a lot of the great Nicolas Cage-isms throughout the movie when he pops in. And it's really cool to see the contrast, because they're both Nicolas Cages that we know, the present one and the one that we grew up with. And I always assumed they were very much similar, but watching them side by side, there's been like a subtle transformation in Nicolas Cage from then until now.
Did we get any Nicolas Cage from The Rock with Sean Connery?
No, I would say like 80s, like Vampire's Kiss and the weird shit where he was really, really, really over the top. And there's there's one moment where he actually makes out with himself, like, and then he's like, after they get done making out, the ego Nicolas Cage backs up and he's like, yeah, Nicolas Cage is a good kisser. Tell everyone Nicolas Cage is a good kisser.
Okay, he's also in Kick-Ass. He does it.
This is the problem. This is the dilemma. You keep bringing up all these Nicolas Cage movies.
I'm sorry, because I know
the problem is that
it's a culmination of all the Nicolas Cage movies.
Yeah,
so it's basically Michael Keaton in Multiplicity, but he's playing himself in all these different versions of himself.
You just get the essence and the energy of all that. It's like the writers that were behind this and Nicolas Cage understood what we love most about him and all of the characters that he's played and all of the predicaments that his characters have been in, and they mashed them all up into one awesome remix. Yeah, go see it. Go check it out if you're a Nicolas Cage film fan.
Great movie.
What the fuck is I gonna say?
I'd watch it again.
All right, guys, thank you very much for checking out our review of The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Go check it out in theaters and have a blast. It is Nicolas Cage's comeback, as he says multiple times in the movie, self-referencing what's actually happening. This is a comeback
We were
film for
never
Nicolas
gone.
Cage.